What's up?
How are you doing, sir?
Good. Monday. It's beautiful out. Market's pumping. Doing good. How about yourself?
Well, Mike Lowry got in here super early. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Fozzie. And shout out to Third Patriot. You guys coming in with the quickness. Yeah, man. I don't know. Today, I had so many outdoor things I was going to do, and then it just rained all day. And luckily,
That sucks.
it ended up being one of those things where it's like, well, nothing you can do about it. Can't do that stuff now. I guess I'll just watch the rain. So that was nice. Got a bunch of little things taken care of. And, I've been going a little crazy here, man. The transition is messing with me. The time difference is messing with me. I'm waking up earlier.
Well, when you start taking hormones that your body's not used to, the transition is definitely going to mess with you.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going with this. I love it. Well, actually, that's kind of funny. I did have an article that I was going to talk about. Did you ever did you do the 23andMe thing, or did you use another?
Did? No, I used 23andMe.
So you know that they got your DNA now because they're going bankrupt. So somebody can purchase them. So one of the big questions that's been going on for the longest time is like, what about our DNA, right? Because you can't get it back.
It's already been sold, bro. It's already been sold.
Yeah, fair. But I think it's interesting.
The state already has my DNA, which I'm sure the federal government has it if the state has it.
Yeah.
And what's another company?
That's fair. BlackRock bottom. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah, man. Besides that, I mean, how's your weekend? Anything exciting? Anything good?
No. Grandkids came up. I was basically just recovering all weekend. It seems like that's what I do with my neck. I stress it out all week at work, and then on the weekend I'm shot. I can barely do anything. Run some errands. Can't concentrate because it hurts so bad.
Sheesh.
It is what it is.
I bought a bunch of car parts because Toyota found an issue with my dad's car, and they wanted to charge $4,400 for that. And lo and behold, if you find the parts yourself, they're considerably cheaper. And then if you know a guy that has a shop, you can get it even cheaper. So we're excited. We're not paying $4,400 for something that is gonna get done for $2,000. So let's get it.
There you go.
That was exciting. That was pretty productive. Everybody was like, "How did you know that?" I was like, "What do you mean? You just have to look. In Honduras, all the places have different prices, so you have to go to a bunch of places to like.
Right.
Yeah. So I just did it.
And especially if you're buying parts from a dealership, it's all OEM. It's all high priced. You know what I mean? Where you can get non-OEM parts that are just as good. So
Moog is the brand. Yeah. It's the secondhand brand that's good. So if anybody's doing any car stuff and they see a Moog brand, just buy that. It's cheaper.
Moog's decent. Dorn is decent, but
so
it all depends. They all have their ups and downs when it comes to certain parts. You know,
fair. But so that's what I got going on. Not a whole lot. The grandkids are fun. That's exciting. You know.
Yeah, it's always fun. Spoil them, spin them up, send them back with their parents.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it.
Let's see. Do they have cool old cars there like in Cuba? So they don't have old cars like in Cuba, but there are some pretty old cars. And honestly, the people that have old cars in Honduras, for the most part, are like the expats. Like they came, brought a car, and then it's super easy to like fix them up. Like cost-wise, it's very cheap. The parts are cheap and the labor is super cheap. So like, there's some old like Cadillacs, there's some old like, Volkswagen Bugs and stuff like that. So, kind of like Cuba, but not quite. But Shelly would be the one to know about what's going on over there, to be honest.
Well, Cuba's old car situation is not by choice.
Yeah.
It's by
Yeah.
embargo.
And what's up, Jason? Thank you
What's
for
up,
popping
Jason?
in. Let's see. I think beyond that, crypto's just not the same, right? We got BitBoy going off the handle every day, all the time, and then we have the market's been kind of not as exciting as usual. Like it's been downwards exciting, and then it was like doldrums, and it was between a range forever. So like maybe we're getting out of it now, but the attention is definitely not here like it was in the bear market, and also like not how it is in a bull market. So we're in a weird place right now. You said despair the other day. I felt like that's kind of where we're at.
It does seem to be in a weird limbo type of thing.
So that was exactly what I wasn't gonna say exactly, but well, more for than him going off on AJ, but him talking about AJ's wife is crazy because we met her and she was like one of the sweetest people in the world. So like that's just really uncalled for, really crazy, and also it's just like AJ has had his back and been supportive as a person could be, more supportive than most people would be under the circumstances. So I think that's crazy to like, stab someone in the back that obviously cared about you enough to stick around, right, until the end, which is crazy. But 100%. Heard there may be a class action lawsuit for XRP owners regarding the SEC case. If this is true, I recommend everybody take part in it, and I think that would be great. I think that would be fantastic, and the SEC should be held accountable for all of the frivolous lawsuits that they put out on
XRP is one of the first crypto I ever bought, that and Ethereum. And then I had bought it, and 2 months later is when they get hit with the SEC case, and Coinbase was delisting it. I had to get rid of it. And back then I didn't know about wallets and stuff like that. I'm just getting into it. So yeah, for sure.
100%.
That would be interesting.
All right. So now we go into market update, correct?
Now we reset the room, everybody. Everybody do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell. If you're on Twitter, tag some DGens, give us a repost, all that good stuff. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly. And with that, and I don't know why. Oh, I thought I added it to the stage, but apparently I did not.
I was going to say, I might have jumped the gun on that one.
Let's get the freshest data here. Well, we're up a staggering 0.3%, but it's better than the red. So, and we're coming in at 2.971 trillion. So close back to that 3 trillion mark. We got volume coming in at 107 billion. Bitcoin dominance at 58.4. Ethereum at 8.46, and still less than 1 GUI to send to ETH transaction. Well, we got Bitcoin at 87,469. We hit 88.8 today, up 2%. We got Ethereum at 2082, up 4.7. We got XRP at 245, up 1%. BNB at 635, up 2.3. Solana at 141, up 5.7. Doge at 18.56, up 8.1. Biggest gainer in the top 10 for Doge. We got Cardano at 73.51, up 3.1 or 3.6, and Tron up 0.9. And we got to check on SWI, still coming in 22nd at 242, up 6.1%. So let's see the biggest gainers on the day. I wonder if it's Crow. I wonder if Crow is going to be the biggest gainer on the day. No, it is going to be Barachain, just barely edging out Crow at 777 up 16.6. We got Crow up 16.2. WorldCoin, that's probably on news of their stable coin up 12.3. Sonic up 11.9. Immutable up 10.7. Pepe up 10. Lot of double-digit gainers. Story IP making a comeback up 9.2. So definitely looking good for the market. Let's see if we got any losers. Caspa down 1.2. Big Get down 1.2. Mantle down 0.6. And that's it. 3 losers before we get into stable coins and coins that don't really matter. Look at all them stable coins. So, I mean, while it may say we're only up 0.3%, that is definitely good that we only have, the minimal amount of losers. So that is the market update. You know what? I do got TradFi open real quick. Let's see here. So pre-market, I mean, we're red, but we're flat. 0.3, 0.5, 0.4, 0.4. Asia, on the other hand, let's get a refresh here. And so we got the Australian index up 0.5%, and Japan's Nikkei is up 1.24. And then we haven't had a change in China yet. So, but we did close stocks today. Some massive gainers, I guess you could call that in the stock world: 1.4, 1.7, 2.2, 2.5. So, and the VIX is coming down. We want to see that come down. It came down 9% today. So that means so your VIX is like your fear and greed for the stock market, and you want that to come down. So people are not fearing so much volatility in the market. But other than that, I believe that is all we have for the quick run through of market update.
Well, there I am talking into the nothingness. But all right, so now for a word from our sponsors. Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Don't miss Rare Evo, everybody. It's going to be fun.
So excited. All right. So what I got here is I asked Grok about why 23andMe failed. Just because I was looking some information about their going bankrupt. But it says that they had a flawed business model and a significant security data breach. Failed therapeutic ambitions, leading to financial distress. And then it says research suggests that board resignations also contributed to the decline. And evidence leans towards declining consumer interest and revenue, with the company struggling to adapt to market changes, which is interesting to me because I would think that more people would be curious to want to know about like their genes. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
I would have thought, like, I don't understand where the flawed business model is because it's like, you want to get your genes tested.
It's not like you buy it once and that's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not something you have to buy. So your customer is just buying one, and then they have all these add-ons and stuff that you can buy. But I mean, I just bought it, got my test results, and I don't think I've ever went back on their website.
Well, they say that they were trying to do some kinds of therapeutic medicines and stuff using people's genes and like working with people to do something, but like none of it was successful. So
Right.
nothing cool came out of it, which is crazy. But shout out to 23andMe. It was a good try. Next time, do it better. Let's see. And then we got a couple of bookmarks here. So, first of all, shout out to Viva La Coin. Between C's and freeze or social credit score, IDK, which one is more immediate concern? LOL. But yes, the open source nonprofit turned to closed source for profit that stole the world's internet footprint to train their AI will give you a solid stablecoin with crypto ethos intact. Yes, and this is what Desert was really excited about. OpenAI Sam Altman is
Yes.
in talks with Visa for crypto stablecoin payments wallet.
Of course they.
Yep. Sam Altman is the devil, as Desert says. This is funny because
Is that correct? Just what up yesterday?
so this is Vivek, and Vivek tweeted this. President Trump shows the Bitcoin white paper in the White House. And this is a digitally altered, not true. He's not keeping an enshrined copy of the Bitcoin white paper behind a curtain in the White House. It's a copy of the U.S. Constitution in the original video. But I thought it was funny. I saw it. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I didn't think any more about it. And then I saw this community notes, and I was like, oh, that's even funnier.
I've seen
but
the same video where it
Many
wasn't the
places.
Bitcoin paper. I think it was one of those AI generated images of JD Vance where he's fat.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that. Which, speaking of which, I don't know if you follow Beeple, but did you see the newest Beeple picture?
It's the JD Vance, right? Yeah.
I believe. No, I actually think it's what Pro the Doge,
Let me see. You
like
got it?
Slum. I can find it. Hold on, I'll go to it in a second.
Because
I
I
want
seen
to
one
get
from
this.
I seen one from Beeple that
The
was
last
go ahead.
bookmark that I had here is that the P Dai, this was a stablecoin, but there was an exploiter on the Dai network. And so this is the guy, 28-year-old Vietnamese guy who's so far stolen close to 8 million from the P makers exploit on Pulse Chain. So interesting. Here's the guy. He bragged about it on social media a lot. And so there's videos and different things of him about all the money he's made off this exploit. So they know it's him. Good luck, buddy. You hit a lick. What can I say? 8 million is not a small number.
No, especially in Vietnam. Well, it doesn't say he lives in Vietnam. It just says he's Vietnamese.
Which, yeah. Well, here's this one that I guess is held up there permanently. But it was
That's the one
this.
I was talking about.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
JD Vance?
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's the AI generated JD Vance.
This is so funny. So this has been a trend all over Twitter. Is like people doing their morning routine workout and stuff, and then they put this Saratoga sparkling water in a thing, and then they put ice in it, and they do a plunge, and then they eat a banana. But they don't eat a banana like like a normal person or like a monkey where they eat it like this. They break it into pieces so that it's not suggestive. And so it's masculine the way that they eat that banana. So
Yeah.
anyways, there's a whole thing on the internet right now. I thought this was funny. Who's gonna spend $6-7 on sparkling water to pour it in their ice bath? There have been so
Right.
many freaking things about this. But thought everybody should know. See, my buddy got lucky with the NFT tickets for Rare Evo. He got a free VIP upgrade. That is awesome. Shout out to your buddy.
Yes.
That is awesome. All right. So then I know what everybody has been excited and waiting for, more Trump NFTs. So Trump Media looks
Yay.
to partner with crypto.com to launch NFTs. Oh, it says ETFs. Just kidding. There we go. But there is So there we go. There we go. Trump media looks to partner with Crypto.com ETFs. This is exciting. We like ETFs because this means more institutional money can invest in crypto. But it's interesting that crypto or Coinbase has already made these moves to be able to trade them. The New York Stock Exchange already can. You would think that it would be in the same like realm for crypto.com to do it. And I think that all ETFs will eventually be tokenized and available on all of the crypto exchanges, because
Let's
they're all dipping into commodities as well.
let's just be clear about that previous statement. I am not happy about ETFs.
Well, Desert doesn't like the Obama Sonic ENU ETF, Elon Mars ETF.
I honestly
That's
don't. I honestly don't think. I honestly don't think outside of Bitcoin, maybe the top 10, that we need any ETFs. I mean, we've already invited the devil into our home with the Bitcoin ETF. Okay. Now we're starting to invite more and more of his offspring with the Ethereum ETF and then the XRP. I mean, at what point are we even in crypto anymore?
Well, relax, Max Kaiser. Relax, Max Kaiser. No,
I'm just saying.
You're like, the altcoin ETFs are bad.
Well, I'm just saying, at what point are we even in crypto anymore? Because if every crypto is an ETF,
Yeah, we're
then
putting everything into the TradFi markets to be manipulated. I agree.
right.
And top 5 at most, Fozzie, you're right. And
Yeah.
Fozzie agrees with Desert. I agree with Desert. I was just playing the devil's advocate there. People get excited about these ETFs because they think it means number go up. But actually, what it means is number go up, then number go down, but you didn't make any money.
Right.
They did.
Right. I started rewatching the show Billions. I don't know if you've heard of it. Billions. It was a Showtime show. It's about stock market. It's whatever. I don't know. Whoever seen it knows what I'm talking about. It's just like it's about a guy, Bobby Axelrod, and he's a hedge fund manager and blah 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 blah. But while it is a fictional show, I do think that everybody should watch it just for like the how hedge funds operate, and obviously once again I understand it's a fictional show, but behind every fiction is a little bit of truth, so I think it's a good way to look at it, on what the big boys do and how they screw over the small people, and those are the people you're trading against. That's the type of people, the quants, the everything like that.
100%. This is pretty bullish as well. So Abu Dhabi's financial free zone signs a memorandum of understanding with Chainlink for tokenization frameworks. So they're basically crypto adoption is increasing in the United Arab Emirates, with crypto app downloads rising 41% in 2024 from the previous year. But so they've signed this memorandum of understanding with Chainlink. So they're going to be using Chainlink as their oracle for the tokenization framework. This is bullish. We already know Chainlink is one of the most capable crypto projects in the space, already being used for the New York Stock Exchange or in partnership with the New York Stock Exchange, and all kinds of different use cases globally. They literally process, I think it's quadrillions of different information in financial markets, which is essential for everything to run smoothly. So we love this. This is bullish. Chainlink is an oldie, but a goodie. And I think it's one that's not going away anytime soon.
Exactly.
Personally. And then we got Trump's crypto project, World Liberty Financial, backed by U.S. President Donald Trump, said that USD1 stablecoin launched on March 4th was not currently tradable. And now they're trying to get this stablecoin on the BNB chain. And they're excited about it. They're excited. So according to data from Etherscan and BSC Scan, the project launched the World Liberty Financial USD or USD1 token in early March. Former Binance CEO Chang Peng CZ Zhao noted that the project's smart contract was deployed on the BNB chain and Ethereum, while World Liberty said the stablecoin was not currently tradable. The USD1 stablecoin launch comes as U.S. lawmakers consider passing the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins, or the Genius Act. The bill moved out of the Senate Banking Committee on March 13th and is expected to be taken to the floor for a full floor vote soon. This is exciting. More
Nice.
stablecoins. Yay! But it's on the BSC network, and I'm sure that obviously World Liberty Financial is not going to be losing money on their stablecoin. So
It's
good for
kind
them.
of weird that they chose to launch it on BSC, right?
Yes, it is. But if it's like the pilot, then it's not that crazy because the fees are way, 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 way cheaper.
Right.
And
Well,
yeah,
it says BNB and Ethereum, I guess. But it just, I mean, that so the Trump family, they just run the whole gambit because I mean, Trump had NFTs on Polygon, meme coins on Solana, you know, World Liberty Financial on Ethereum, and then now stablecoin on BSC.
yeah, man. Trying to make some money this cycle.
I guess.
100%. And then so let's see. Oh, I think I mentioned this, but I don't think I actually talked about it. So Pantera Capital, this is their CEO or somebody here. Pantera Cosmo Zhang. Yeah, I didn't want to try to pronounce it, but he pointed out two AI crypto narratives that he believes are interesting, and one of them is this one, DAS, which I believe that we should probably take an extra look at, and the other one is Grass, and so these are, and BitTensor is the other one, but
Grass
BitTensor
is
and Grass.
Grass is the one that Aaron was warning us about.
With the insiders, right? And it
No,
looked
with the
very.
access on what it's pulling off your computer.
Oh yes, I remember that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But Pantera Capital has said that it is interested in exploring Grass and also BitTensor, and so these are two that they're excited on and about. So I'm not telling anybody to do anything with their money, but I am saying that Grass and BitTensor might be one to take a second look at. But that is a
Right.
good reminder because Aaron did mention that when you are mining for Grass, that it has some permissions that it allows you to look at some more information than probably most people would care to be sharing.
Right.
Can
You
you still hear
disappeared.
me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just let it run like that before I mess anything up. I think that that's actually all that well, this is the last one. So BNB Chain launches a $100 million liquidity program. So only projects with at least $5 million market cap and 1 million in daily trading volume are eligible. But BNB Chain said that as the network seeks to boost SEX liquidity for native projects. So if you have a project on BNB and you have a 5 million market cap and 1 million in daily trading volume, you can make a proposal to them and you get this liquidity grant from their
If
program.
if CZ wants to boost sex liquidity, he should reach out to Diddy.
Well, I think they confiscated all of those bottles of liquidity. All
I don't
thousands
know.
of them.
I don't know. You can buy baby oil on the commissary.
Let's see. Low fees, but Crow could have been cheap too. With their ETFs on Crow, you would think they would want their stablecoin there too. You would. I agree.
Right.
They seem to have the shotgun approach to crypto where they are, and I agree with that, where they are literally putting a little bit of investment in multiple different sectors at a time.
Right.
And it's like they're throwing stuff at the wall and trying to see what sticks. And so it's interesting that they chose BSC for their stablecoin and Ethereum.
I mean, I guess you could look at it as a diversification,
Yeah.
but it's like it's not a diversification of holdings so much as a diversification of like projects, like minting NFTs on 5 different chains,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's see. The only other thing I wanted to glaze over here is Yahoo Finance. I like to check it out, see what's going on over here. It says that Asian stocks advance on Trump's tariff signals. So we have some positive momentum here. But U.S. stocks soar on hopes that Trump may dial back expected tariffs. So this, to me, a title like this in an article scares me. And it scares me because the whole stock market, they're saying, is going up as a result of hopes that the tariffs might be peeled back or rolled back a little bit. And the fact that the market is moving positively, if there is no budging on the tariffs, then there's going to be a massive retracement just because of fear. It doesn't. So like these gains that you see right now, who knows how long that they're going to actually last in the TradFi market, because anything could happen. The macro landscape is changing from day to day. I mean, like, we are in some active conflicts, and there's a global dynamic that is changing quite a bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it also only takes Trump to put out one crazy tweet about we're going to put 80% tariffs on England or whatever ridiculous, tweet he puts out, and the whole market just crashes.
Like this, Trump authorizes 25% secondary tariff on Venezuelan oil buyers.
Well,
this is a new one.
But I mean, Venezuela is a huge oil market, but Venezuela has no recourse either.
Yeah, they don't have any recourse. But yeah, I think this would target everybody that's buying their oil. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. People are scared. I don't understand why the tariffs are that frightening to people, because it's not like we're surprised.
No.
It's not
like
at
all.
What? Tariffs? It's like this is what he ran on his whole campaign. So like there we are.
This is true. And I was watching PBD. I was watching a clip earlier, and they had Glenn Beck on, and Glenn Beck said something to where, well, Trump loves tariffs, but he hates income tax. So for everything that you're worried about tariffs going into effect, you could kind of be hopeful that income tax, may have the opposite effect. He's said it in the past where he would love to go back to like the 1900s where we had no income tax. It was only on the ultra wealthy, and everything that we did was paid off with tariffs. So,
yeah. So that was crazy. My browser said your browser is overheated, so your camera is not going to work. So it turned off my camera. And then I closed some tabs because I was done with some tabs. And then that was why I clicked the camera on, came right back on. Not crazy?
So your browser was overheated?
That's what it said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't speak computer like that. But what I will say is that I'm excited to see what's going on in the charts. I guess we're going to reset the room, and then I hit the other one, and then we go, right? Right.
That's right.
I
That's
feel like
right.
that's. I feel
We
like
are going to reset the room. Once again, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share this with a friend, hit that notification bell. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly.
Okay, sorry. So Jason, it was Chrome, right? It was Chrome, but I think it's my computer at this point. I think my computer, I just need a new computer. I've had this one for sheesh, I don't know, since 22, so 3 years. So, you know, it was
A little old.
it was like a top of the line. It was a nice model when I got it. I literally picked like the best one that was an option at the time. And now it's just not cutting it. It's just not cutting it. But you know, that's it.
You need to go. You need to switch to Brave.
Maybe I'll switch to Brave. Maybe that'll do it. But
Yeah. Introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds fuel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth. The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion. And the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the rewards. Boom. And
There we
that
go.
will be live by the end of this month. So, for all you guys out there, and it'd be nice, you know, I mean, if we can, sounds like it might just need some loving. There you go.
so this reminds me of, and I think it was Adult Swim. I think it was an Adult Swim episode. Did you watch Adult Swim? Was that something you saw?
I've
You
seen it
liked,
before,
you know?
yeah.
So there was an Adult Swim episode with a like cartoon about a like a Nintendo 64 game.
Right.
Have you seen that cartoon? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No,
But
I haven't watched that much Adult Swim.
no, you're good. I'm gonna try to find the like the clip, but I'm gonna just try to find the clip and then I'll bring it up
Hey,
randomly and you're gonna love it.
Nintendo, the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, the struggle was real, man. The struggle was real. You know, the original Nintendo having to blow out the cartridges, and then sometimes because you pushed it in and pushed it down, and then sometimes the little where you push it down, it would like break or it would get worn out, and then you'd have to like push it down and then put like a piece of paper in it to stop it from popping back up,
No,
so it
look,
would
I
stay
got it.
connected.
You're gonna love
Oh,
this. You're gonna love this.
all right, let's see it. Let's see it.
It's only 19 seconds.
Hey, you're new around here, right?
Yep, barely been played.
Little advice? Pop out one of those connector pins from your circuit board.
What? But then I won't work right.
Just trust me.
Hey, it's not working.
Oh, oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Anyways, I apologize. I was looking at Jason is so funny where you're saying blow the dust out and check your fans. That was what I thought. But I have to blow on it. So funny. OMG, that's great. Yeah, love it. All right. So what's going on with BTC?
Let's take a look. Let's go to the weekly real quick. Let's take a look. We have printed another. Am I on the wrong chart here? No. We have printed another. Why is that? These are not my charts. Did I just delete one of my charts on accident? That is so weird. I must have deleted a chart because that's not the chart I should be on. That's not the chart I should be on. Okay, well, this is what we're going to go with then. We're going to go with the Bitstamp chart.
Maybe the dogs are doing TA while you're at work.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's quite possible. But all right, let's go out to the weekly first. So we are putting in our third weekly green candle in a row. So we closed last week green and the week before that green. And now we are starting to put in a third one. We got VWAP spiking back to the upside. Money flow still kind of flat, but your RSI and your Stokes are pointed up. And I bet you we're going to get a nice green dot sometime this week, right here on this little momentum wave right here on the weekly. So, I mean, weekly's looking good. You know, if we can close another decent green candle, you know, that's going to give us the 3 white soldiers, which is a bullish pattern. Let's come down to the daily, because the daily is where it's at. The daily right here, as you can see, we lost the 200 back on March 9th, and we've been fighting and fighting and fighting. We would like get over it for a half a second and then boom, come back down. Big candle on the 19th, come right back below. But this is the first time we've now gone above it, printed a green candle, and we're having a little bit of a pullback, which is expected. I mean, we had a good pump today. You know, it pumped 1.6% and it pumped 2.7% yesterday. So we're talking about 4.3% that Bitcoin has pumped in the past 2 days, which, you know, on an altcoin might not be that much, but on Bitcoin, that's a pretty decent pump. So we are getting a little bit of a pullback, but we got money flow starting to round. So if we can keep this like that, we do have the VWAP cutting back in on itself, which is not good. So I imagine if we get a little cutback, we are going to come back down on the momentum wave a little bit. RSI is still pointed up. Stokes are still pointed up. But it does not mean we are going up forever. In my opinion, I think TradFi or institutions are trying to bang the quarterly close. So the quarterly close is this Sunday. I mean, this Friday. You know, it always closes on a Friday. So you got the monthly close, the quarterly close, and the weekly close in TradFi. And like we were talking earlier, now that Bitcoin is an ETF, well, it's connected to TradFi. You know, Ethereum's an ETF, well, it's connected to TradFi. And if we go out to the 3-month, almost everything. So this is the quarterly candle right here. And as you can see, big red candle, right? But if we look at the SPX, we got a red candle. NVIDIA, red candle. Dow Jones, barely red, but it is red nonetheless. And while they may not get these candles, these quarterly closes back into the positive, they're going to want to try and push them for the least amount of losses possible, in my opinion. So, but when we come back to Bitcoin and we go down to the 4-hour, we also have some bullish. That's Ethereum. Why am I on Ethereum? There we go. So Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we did break the 200, printed a candle, and then we started to retrace, and now we're coming back down to retest the 200. And you can see we wicked down a little bit, retested it, and we're trying to go back up a little bit now. But we got VWAP to the downside, money flow to the downside. Everything is pointed down on our oscillators. Stokes, RSI pointing down, momentum pointing down, VWAP pointing down, money flow coming down. So I would expect this to either, I mean, hopefully we don't break the 200 and come back down, but I would expect at least some kind of flag on the 4-hour, whether it be like this or like this is something that Crypto Lifer likes to do. And I thought it was pretty cool. He calls it the Twisted Sister. So he puts up two, you know, these are the two paths that we could take. This could be the bottom right here at the 200, and we bounce back up to 88, and we just kind of bounce like that before the breakout, or we start going in this falling channel and coming back. But either way, we've gapped the 21 right here. So I'm expecting, 21 start to come up like this. And then we're either going to come down and retest it, or we're going to go sideways while it comes up and retest it before we get that next little leg, which, I mean, it could just end up being, boom, we've retested and now it's time to take off again. Who knows? In the middle of the night, Asia could get frisky and give us a big pump. But I mean, you see right here, this VWAP came down and had a sharp turn. So in theory, we could bottom real quick and turn back to the upside. That's just not what I'm seeing. And as far as getting back above the 200, why it is so massive, we haven't been above the 200 since January. Okay. We had the little run up in January right here. We got above the 200 and look, and then it came back, had a scam wick down to the 21, and then the 21 crossed and it just kept going, right? So we got above the 200 there for an 11% pump. And you can tell, once we lost it here, boom, pretty much a double top or dead cat bounce and then break down. So the fact that we are getting back above it, provided we just don't lose it and collapse, like this is just some kind of bull trap or dead cat bounce, but we're getting above it. We got the 21 turned bullish. We got the 50 turned bullish. So we're actually going to be getting a golden cross here if we stay the line. Even if we go sideways, the 50 is going to come up as the 200, meanders like that. The 21 kind of like that. So we're going to get a bullish cross on the 21 first, and then we're going to get a golden cross on the 50. And that could play out. What's that, Thursday? I mean, that's close to the end of the week, and on Friday we could get some crazy action, especially if it's low liquidity and the bulls or the bears or the big boys get to push it wherever the hell they want on a low liquidity Friday. We could see some crazy price action. But let's come down a little further. Let's come down to the 15-minute. Whoop. So on the 15-minute is showing a little bit of a bullish div right here on the 15-minute. So we're having lower price action, right? Momentum. Boom. Textbook bullish div on the momentum. Let's see what that RSI. That's a higher high on the RSI too. So we do have some bullish div down here on the 15-minute, right? Price action's coming down. Oscillators are going up. We got the VWAP clip back to the upside, and we know that these VWAPs, okay, they precede a change in the momentum. We've went over this a lot of times. You got VWAP, right? VWAP goes up. A little bit later, momentum goes up. VWAP goes up. A little bit later, momentum goes up. So we got VWAP going up. So we're saying a little bit later, momentum is going to go up, right? So the lower time frame is not looking too bad. I bet we lost the 200 on the 1 minute. Yep. So we have lost it on the 1 minute. So we really lost it right here at about 1:30 Pacific. So 6 hours ago, 5 hours ago is when we lost the 1 minute. And then we really started to get that dump. Everything coming back down. We had a death cross right here on the 50. 21 lost. It tried to pump and get us back above, couldn't sustain, and we just fell. But Now we're starting to curve back to the upside. We reclaim the 21. Next step is reclaiming the 50 and then the 200. And it looks like it's trying to right now. 21 has curved. So it could be the local bottom right here. And then we start getting a slow meandering. And remember, this is the 1 minute. So this, you know, from here to here is only like $800. So, but that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I do see it coming back down a little bit, at least to retest. See how we gapped on the 1 hour? Boom. And that would have been yesterday night. We just gapped, right? Boom. And then we come back, we retest, we lost it a little bit. If we can get back above the 21, we'll expect a continuation. So let's go down here. Let's check out SWE. So SWE got back above 237, which is a key area of support and resistance. You know, we have lots of price action right here. You know, we fought, lost, fought, couldn't maintain, fell back down, retouch, got above, lost, retouch. We got above, fought with it a little bit, got a little relief, and then lost it completely. And this could be some kind of, let's see here. What do we got here? On the 1 hour, some kind of cup and handle right here on the 1 hour for SWE. Let's see here. We could get some nice confluence here too. Looks like the money flow is going down a little bit. RSI and the Stokes have lined up and are kind of flat to the downside. VWAP started to come out and then just hit this flat space and started going sideways. We even tried to get a little clip on the momentum right here. You can barely see it. You see that little darker shadow in the back. So it tried to clip out, couldn't. It kept going down. But this could be, we could be seeing some kind of cup and handle forming here. You know what? I bet that takes us right back to this SR level. Let's measure it. From the breakout. Well, pretty damn close. You know, we got the SR level at 265. This takes us to about 263. So I would definitely be watching this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to alarm that. I'm going to alarm that trend line right there. See if we break that. You know, we will have some resistance right here at about 248 because you can see all these tops, 1, 2, 3. We couldn't get above it, right? So, and you can see that little volume node right there. So that could be a little bit of a top. But if we can break that, let's bring this out to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we are topping out on the 4 hour. VWAP has already cut back under this, the zero line, money flow to the downside, RSI Stokes down, momentum red dot coming down, right? So it does look like we're coming back down on the 4 hour. And that could be, and it looks like we got a little shooting star at the end of this right here. So we are coming down. We retest 237. Probably see it bounce, maybe hit this level right here, which lines up right. Look at that. That lines up perfectly with this start, the collapse, the retest, and then we're coming back down. So we could see a retest, come down. Maybe we might even dip under 237 again, come under here, and then get another bounce before we break this cup and handle right here. That is a little concerning. I don't like seeing the momentum wave so topped out with everything turned over. So I would definitely be, I would be a little cautious like, don't just open. Once this alarm goes off, don't just YOLO into a 20x freaking long. Always drop down to your smaller time frames and look for confluence. Go out to the daily real quick. Yeah, daily, we're still way under the 200 and everything is still pointed down. Even the 21 is still pointed down. So that is not a good look. And you could almost say that this was a bear flag. A bear flag that broke down. And then we got some bullish momentum with Bitcoin. So it reversed and started to go back up. So if Bitcoin gets frisky, we could just see that collapse again and continue back to the downside. And I would say that that's at least, see, that takes us down pretty far though. 177. I don't think we're going to go down to 177, but that's what the TA shows. It looks like we were getting ready to start that trip until, this is Saturday, the 25th, right? And then we started to get a little more bullishness. Even that one's kind of flat, but then Sunday and then today. And I believe that all has to do with because of what Bitcoin did this morning. So let's look at, yes, set those alarms. Always say you can't stare at a chart all day. So you get a setup going, you look at it, you set your levels, you hit the alarms. You can even put alarms on moving averages. So like, one of the things I like to do is when we break the 200 on these smaller time frames, I'll open a long with the stop right below it, and then boom, watch it take off. This one came back down and collapsed, right? And went back down. But still, you would have had that little scalp, long as it breaks the 200, short as it loses the 200. It's a pretty simple scalping technique. And I mean, I've posted charts and charts and charts, boom, retest, bounce, retest, lost it, same thing going the other way. Get rid of that because I don't even know where the 200 is. Okay, right here. So boom, break the 200, bounce, retest, and off to the races, right? So it's a very, very simple. And once again, you still got to look for confluence and stuff like that, but it is a very, very simple trading strategy for scalping. Let's get into ADA real quick because we are almost out of time. But this is what I've seen earlier, and I love to see this. I think ADA is really getting ready, is really gearing up. And if Bitcoin continues its positive momentum, ADA is going to rip. Because we've been fighting with 74 ever since March 9th. We go over this almost every day. We got above, dropped, hit our head, boom, got above, dropped, hit our head, hit our head, hit our head, right? And we're hitting our head again now. But what has changed is we are now back above the 200 on the 2 hour with the same type of situation with the 21 getting ready to cross bullish and the 50 probably going to meander and get some kind of golden cross on the 2 hour. This has me a little nervous, just like it did on the last chart where we are coming down on the momentum. But you can see, even though we're coming down on the momentum, money flow has started to curve back to the upside. The VWAP starting to cut back to the upside. You got your Stokes and RSI cutting back to the upside. So that's positive. The momentum is just kind of dragging, right? But we could see this come down. If the VWAP crosses, we'll expect a green dot out here. What is that? That's Tuesday about 1 a.m. So maybe, I mean, this is going to, you got to remember, this is going to travel. You got to use your time frames. So here's about 5 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Coast. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on the East Coast. And we could definitely see all of this change. We could see the VWAP coming back up. money flow back up, and then we get a green dot, because the VWAP is cut, and then the momentum starts to go back to the upside. Get rid of all that. And then when we come down to the 1 hour on Cardano, boom, we just had a nice so on the 1 hour this morning, or this is last night. So last night, boom, broke the 1 hour, bounced, right? Gapped the 21, and the 21 made it, and then it came back and retested the 21 because why? The 21 is a magnet. But then we get this golden cross on the 50 and the 200 right there for the 1 hour, which this is basically why I'm so bullish, because of this, what's going on right here. We did get it back here also. And after we got that, we had that nice pump, but then we lost it. So this is Thursday when we lost it. We dropped from 75, which is still a possibility. Let's see here. So we got that. Yeah, we were already under. When we came back down, we were already starting to go back down. We came up, we had a little trigger wave come up and then continued to the downside. I think we could see something of the opposite right here. We got money flow to the, actually, we're getting kind of mixed signals here. VWAP's coming down while money flow goes up. Stokes and RSI have combined and are now coming down. We tried to break free from the momentum right here when this VWAP turned and started going to the upside. You can see that little notch right there, where if it would have continued to the upside, we would have broke this, got the green dot, and went back to the upside. But either way, long story short, I am bullish on the situation right now. XRP, same thing. 1 hour bounced off to 200. The 50 and the 21 both bounced off to 200. We did just lose the 21, and we're bouncing off the 50. But as long as Big Daddy right here can stay bullish, then I think we're good to go. At least for a little short term to the end of the week. What happens after the monthly or quarterly close? I don't know. But I am bullish going into the weekend.
That's good. That's exciting to hear. And I love that you said Sui might get to 177. So let's get Sui to 177 so I can buy a couple.
I would put the in the near term, I would put that at a very low probability. Not to say the market won't collapse and we won't get to 177 this summer, but in the near term, I would say it's a low probability, but it is a probability.
All it's going to take is for Trump to be like, actually, the tariffs are still on just as hard as I promised that they would be at the beginning. Then the whole market freaks out.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things are still on. I'm not removing anything, and I'm adding more.
Yeah, I'm adding more. And they're going to be like, why are you adding more? And he's going to be like, because I don't like that guy.
Because World Liberty Financial hasn't bought enough assets yet. That's why I'm adding more.
Exactly.
We got to bring the ship back.
Yep, bring the ship back. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. This was a blast. We come to you live, bringing you the daily news nightly, every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we appreciate all of you. Please be sure to share, like, and subscribe. We appreciate it. It costs you nothing. And it's, it gives us gratification. It lets us know that you guys like the content that we're putting out and that you appreciate the work we put in every single day. But thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Peace.
Have a good night. Introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds feel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth. The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion, and the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the rewards.